Hello and welcome everybody. We are back here for round 4 with the list that you see on screen as per the usual. And yeah, we are currently at a 1-2 start, which is not my favorite record to be battling back from, but we have managed to go from a 1-2 record to a 3-2 record in the past. So let's just see if we can manage to do that again here. But regardless of the result, you will be seeing these videos because the result is not what matters. What matters is the gameplay and the learning, and hopefully the entertainment. So I'm not gonna tell you to subscribe or like or any of that stuff before we've even gotten into the meat of the video, but if you do happen to, by the end of the video, find that it was worth your time, or that you learned something from it or enjoyed it, then go ahead and subscribe then, but do not subscribe before then. And if you're already subscribed, unsubscribe and resubscribe. That's all I gotta say about it. Anyways, let's go and jump straight into these games. We have a match. Always good news. We're on the play. That's also always good news. We have a turn 1 Amulet, and that is also always good news. We don't have a bounce land yet, but if we draw exactly a bounce land, then we'll be able to make a Titan happen thanks to this Karn rig, but there's no guarantee that we'll actually draw a bounce land. Double Summoners pack is not amazing either, to be honest. If we just, like, miss on lands here, because I think with what is it, 8 bounce lands that we're playing? Hold on, let me go check. Yeah, so we have 8 bounce lands that would cover it. Plus, I mean, I guess Crumbling Vestige doesn't count. We'd have to draw Crumbling Vestige into Vesuva for that to work. Let's do, this is something I haven't done on the channel yet, but let's go and do some math real quick. I'm gonna let my opponent, that I'm thinking here. So, let's pull up the Hyper Geometric Calculator on StatTrek. So, check this out. We can figure out exactly how likely we are to draw a bounce land and the number of cards that we have left in our deck. So we have 53 cards. So let's pop over here. Number of successes is 8, because we're trying to find a bounce land, and we have 8 of them. And our population size is 53, because that's how many cards we have. And we have a sample size of, let's say, 1 draw, right? So if we draw 1 card, that'll be our sample size, and we want to see 1 bounce land. We'll calculate. So the probability of drawing at least 1 bounce land is right here, 0.15, or 15%. So in our first draw, we are only 15% chance to draw a bounce land. And if we expand that to 2 draws, we see it jumps up to 28%. And then 3 draws, that jumps up to 40%. So even in the first 3 draws, we are less than 50% chance to actually draw a bounce land. And we need 3 regular lands in order for this hand to work out. I actually think this should be a mulligan. So based on that information, I'm going to mulligan. And here we get a turn 2 Explore. We probably are putting back the Azusa, but we have Explore as a redraw. We have Dryad to go along with Valakut, so I'm more inclined to keep this. Because this, we have more things to do here. So let's bottom the Azusa here, for sure. And we'll lead on the Valakut, planning to fetch up either a basic forest or maybe shock a breeding pool this upcoming turn to cast this Explore. Let's go get rid of this calculator here. I'll give you a little bit of homework here. At home, do the calculation and tell me what is the possibility or the probability for drawing exactly 3 lands off the top for the previous hand to work out. Ugh, guess we should have fetched a basic land on 1. Yikes. Alright, well, we're playing out this Amulet and hoping to draw a Karn, I guess. It's looking like it wouldn't have mattered whatever hand we kept here, since our opponent did have the immediate Blood Moon, so it's probably some kind of Belcher deck, I have to assume. Our opponent is digging deep here to try to find what they need. They're trying to find a Charbelcher here, I can only assume. We just need to find a Karn at this point. I mean, if we're going to be able to win here, it's going to be very slow. Although, thankfully, Karn would stop our opponent from even activating Charbelcher, so that's nice. There's a rot farm. This is the 4th draw. I wonder what the percentage chance to draw the rot farm on the 4th draw would have been. It's probably somewhere around 50%, maybe a little higher, based on the trend that we saw earlier. There's the Charbelcher. Karn. Come on, Karn. That is not a Karn. Alright, well, let's just scoop it up then. We know what they're going to do. They're going to activate this Charbelcher. They're going to have no lands, and we're going to be dead. Okay. Well, at least we got to learn something there. Let's bring in the Rex Sage for sure. And these negates seem rather prudent. Karn is quite good against our opponent. I think we want to bring in the Cavern over one of these tapped lands like the Bajuka Bog. I don't think Bajuka Bog is likely to be relevant. We could bring in Beast Within for a Charbelcher if they can't activate it the same turn that they play it. And we can also hit lands with Beast Within, so I kind of like the idea. And I think that's about it. So, as for sideboarding, we probably want to board out Explorer. I mean, it does let us get to a turn 3 Karn, which might be good enough. I don't know, maybe Explorer is fine. We can trim 1 Pact, I think. We can trim 1 Grazer. I don't know, Grazer letting us turn 2 a 3-drop, though, is quite good. Let's trim and explore some Balageds. And maybe a land. Radiant Fountain is unlikely to matter, I think. Although it is an untapped source. Maybe we could board out Field, although Field lets us outpace our opponents empty the Warrens if they board into that kind of sideboard plan. Let's cut 1 more Explorer and call it a day. We have a couple of Explorers to bridge us into a Karn a little early if we need that. But not so many that will flood on it. And this is a bit unfortunate because we have the Karn, but we don't have any ramp into it. I think the sand is just too slow. There we go. Now we have an Amulet and a Karn, and a Rex Sage as well. We don't have any green sources, sadly. Our opponent might lead off on a green source, though. I still think we have to keep this hand, so we'll keep. And we can bottom the Azusa pretty safely here, I think. And we'll lead on the T-West, since that one can actually tap for a mana. Alright, opponent, do us a solid and play a green land. Thank you very much. Thanks in advance. That is not a green land, opponent. That was not a green land, opponent. Alright, well, we have Negate to interact, which is pretty nice. Still got to play out this Vesuva, I think. Can't get a land drop behind, so. Although from this point on, we can basically just hold up Negate. Oh, and now they play the green land, of course. Uh-oh. Charbelcher? Oh, they're just doing all of the things this turn. Alright, well, we lost, everyone. Alright, let's, yeah. Well, that was fast. I'm not really sure exactly what just happened, but again, at least we got some learning out of it. Not much we could have done there. Belcher seems to be a pretty bad matchup, I would say. We just need an early Karn to occur, and barring that, we don't really have much else by way of options, so. I don't know. Anyways, I will see you guys for the next one, where hopefully we can get at least half of our league value back on the 2-3 record, so I will see you guys there. This is Redface Menace, signing off.